So for several years, I've been concerned about people on different committees approving drugs that are also being paid royalties by the drug manufacturers. So for example, during COVID, we had vaccines that were developed by Pfizer and Moderna, and then these vaccines were mandated on people throughout government, throughout the military, by different governors around the country. And yet we don't know whether the people that were approving either the vaccines or the mandates, whether or not they were receiving money from Big Pharma. So our bill is a royalty transparency bill. It will require that anybody on these committees that are approving different drugs has to reveal whether or not they've been receiving royalties from Big Pharma or from the manufacturers of vaccines. So this is a big step forward. This is something that I inquired when I had Anthony Fauci in our committee. I said, we need to know this. This is a basic conflict of interest problem. And he basically thumbed his nose at the American people and said we didn't need to know this, and that the law protected him and that he didn't have to reveal royalties. And so this law fixes that. This law will make it public, and people will get to know whether or not any of the people approving drugs or approving mandates or approving vaccines, if any of them are receiving money from the same companies that manufacture the vaccines. Open Secrets has put forward information that they got from Freedom of Information, that a federal judge forced the NIH to reveal this, that I think it's over 2,000 scientists received over $300 million over a 10-year period. It's about $135,000 per scientist on average. So it's not a small amount of money. It's a significant amount of money, $300 million to scientists. And so some of them are getting million-dollar paydays from big pharmacy companies, and it's not being disclosed to the public. Our bill will have it disclosed to the public. It'll be on a public website, and everybody will be able to see if there is a conflict of interest. So I think public scrutiny chastens people, and they tend not to lie, cheat, and steal if you're watching them more. I mean, think about this. If you had a city council in a small town in America, and someone on the city council had a textbook company, and they were voting on who to give the contract to for the school textbook business, do you think anybody would be upset if they found out that the person voting on this actually owned the textbook company that got the contract? So this kind of thing is very common throughout government, and public is right to want to scrutinize this, and public reacts in an angry way when they find out people are feathering their own nest by voting on policies that help them personally. So no, I think transparency helps to keep people honest, and will be something that's badly needed in the form of drug manufacturers and drug royalties, pharmacy royalties going to scientists. We'll look through. I'm for transparency throughout government. Everybody has to reveal these things, and they should. And they've been hiding this for some time now, and they've found a loophole that they've tried to exploit really for 30 some odd years. But I think the American public's waking up, and they want to know if people have a conflict of interest. And I think our royalty transparency bill will bring some sunlight and help to cut down on the corruption that's occurring in this space. The bill passed unanimously out of our committee yesterday, and so our hope is to actually see if we can get it passed unanimously in the Senate. And then there's also a way in the House to pass it under what they call suspension of the rules, which essentially requires a 2/3 vote. So we think this is something that really both parties can get behind. The Democrat chairman of the committee is for this. He's a co-sponsor of the bill. And so I think it has a very good chance of becoming law. Well, I'm having as my guest the Democrat mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg. And so to me, it's a time to bring people together, Democrats and Republicans, to honor and respect the office of the presidency. I'm not sure I'm going to agree with a lot of the things that will be said tonight, but I think it's worthwhile for all of us to listen to each other to try to move the country forward.